Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the West Lindsey series. This is one of the 9 districts of Lincolnshire and one of the county's most rural. It has 128 civil parishes. Let's see which one this episode's all about. Welcome back to West Lindsey, everybody. Now, to say it was misty and murky this morning, as you've seen from the previous West Lindsey episodes just recently, it's now started to turn out to be quite a nice day. There's quite a bit of blue sky up there, and that's a good thing in this place. A lot of children know this place, and that's because it's got something children really like, to be honest with you, and that's a farm park. We're going to be seeing that at the end of this episode, but this place is quite historic as well, and you're going to see why as we walk around the parish of Rande. The West Lindsey series is sponsored by Gainsborough Cycles, 01427 617 752. For all your cycling needs, this is your one-stop shop, located at 20 Ropery Road or online at gainsboroughcycles.com. There's a link in the description. Gainsborough Cycles, ask for Trevor Halstead. And this video is also sponsored by Jamie's Fitness Studio, based on Low Road, Grayingham, near Curtin in Lindsey. Jamie is one busy lady. Check her out by calling 07906 749 574 or emailing hello@jamies.co.uk. Online membership is available. There's a link to her Facebook page in the description. Jamie's Fitness Studio. Get fit, get happy, get healthy. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Welcome to Rande, a small village which is centred around 3 major landmarks: a business park with a black and yellow stripey theme, a church with some medieval village remains around it, and a popular farm park which has become a major local tourist attraction. It's all situated just off the A158 between Lincoln and Wragby, on a small ridge that overlooks a valley. In fact, that valley and that ridge are what give Rande its name. It derives from the Old English word rand, spelt the same way, which means a place at the border or edge. It's listed in the Domesday Book as RAND 2, although there it's spelt with an E on the end. As a village, Rande is quite small. Its limited number of houses are laid out mainly on one road that runs towards the church, whilst the south of the village is taken up mainly by the business park and Rande Farm Park. There's also a notable bridge, known as the County Bridge, which lies on the border between Rande and neighbouring Fulnetby. There's no shops here unless you count the one on the industrial estate, but you'd be needing to be very specific. As you'll see shortly, those were very thinly veiled puns. The nearest large town is Market Raisin, about 5 miles away to the northeast, and if we're talking population, there's probably more animals here than people. So let's have a walk around. I'm sure after this one, you'll all be buzzing. Okay folks, just before this episode starts, I need to make you aware of something. I haven't filmed anything like the amount of stuff that I wanted to here, and there's a reason for that. The reason is because I've had a bit of an altercation with someone who lives here. Not a very nice one, I have to admit. And it happened just before I went to the church, which you'll see later on in this video. So really, I've kind of thinned this down a little bit. Because I have no idea what to do otherwise, to be honest. So basically all you're going to see in this episode is This industrial estate, which by the way is called Beehive Business Park, that's a major part of this. The church, which has got a few bits and bobs of interest, and a handful of other things, including the farm park, which we will end at the end of this episode. But apart from that, I've had to cut quite a bit here, thanks to the actions of one individual, I'm afraid. So yeah, I do apologise. Anyway, this is the resulting video. Hopefully you enjoy it. We begin next to one of the many ponds in Rande. This one is at the entrance to Beehive Business Park, right in the middle of the village. There's more than a few businesses on this park, but by far and away the most prominent is Thorn Beehives. They've been making beekeeping equipment for over 100 years. It all began in 1913 when the headmaster of the school at nearby Wragby asked Edgar Henry Thorn, a joiner on the local estate, to make him a beehive. From that point on, Thorn was hooked on the fascinating art of beekeeping and began a small business, manufacturing and retailing beehives, alongside his normal day job. Now, Thorn Beehives is the UK's leading supplier. They have 5 locations around the country, but this site here in Rande is their head office and main factory. The site also features their own museum and a shop. Thorn supports hundreds of local people and more than 50,000 beekeepers nationwide. I got a buzz out of filming this. So there's definitely a couple more ponds to see yet. We've seen obviously the 2 outside Thorn, but there are some other ones dotted around the village. There's one just here at the very northern edge of the village on the road towards Fulnetby, as you can see. They all have these little life rings on them, which is a good thing in case anyone decides to take a swim unexpectedly. I think this one belongs to this house actually, I'm not totally sure. It seems to be in its grounds, but whatever the case, there's plenty of ponds around and plenty of ducks to go with them. They always like ponds, don't they? So now we're going to turn around at this point and head down the road you can see in the distance over there. Now this will take us towards a church. It's a dead end, but I do believe there is a footpath I can use to kind of make this a loop. We'll see in a minute. Rande's church is dedicated to St Oswald. It's believed to be at least the 3rd church that's ever stood on this very site. The existing building is 14th century, but there are records of organised worship here dating from the 13th century, when there seems to have been an open-air mission station marked by a cross. This was probably situated in what is now a deserted medieval village, which surrounds the site on which the church now stands. Inside, St Oswald's contains a monument to the Harrington family. Harrington is a name strongly linked to Rande. Sir Sapcote Harrington of Rande, who died in 1629, was the father of the 17th century English writer James Harrington, whose most notable work was a political philosophy entitled The Commonwealth of Oceania. Alongside the church there's a footpath where you can see earthwork remains of the medieval village. The whole site though is much bigger than just this. Okay guys, I was hoping to see a bit more of the moat than that, the earthworks behind the church, but you can't really see much more than that unfortunately, so that's kind of the best I could do. But yeah, that's the historic part of Rande anyway. Now, I'm just being a little bit careful at the moment because on my way up to the church I had a bit of an altercation with someone who lives in the village. Not a very nice one, I have to admit. So I'm going to have to change my route back a little bit. The footpath I was going to aim for is now not going to be taken. I'm going to just walk back along the road that I've already walked up, and unfortunately I'm not going to film anything else just in case, because I really don't want to see this guy again, if I'm being honest with you. So yeah, let's make our way to Rande Farm Park now, which is to the south of the village. Something a bit more pleasant. As you leave Rande to the south, you pass Rande Farm Park. We're not going past it though, we're going in. Rand Farm Park is a major local tourist attraction. There are all sorts of animals here, from Jersey cows to thoroughbred horses. There's even a couple of alpacas. The list is endless. Kids love this place. It flung its doors open for the first time in February 1996 and welcomed 110 visitors, although many of that original number were family and friends. Originally it was a pig farm, and it's since grown massively. It's even won awards. The ethos of the place, though, has never changed. Rand Farm Park has always tried to, according to its website, offer a fun, educational and good value for money day out for visitors of all ages and abilities. In its early days, many of its visitors became friends and often helped to clear tables and check on animals. Rand has also provided many local young people with their first jobs. So in being the good citizen that I am, I've got the camera pointed away from the farm park in order to obviously protect the privacy and the safety of children. There's going to be plenty of children in there at the moment. They love coming here. I've never actually been here before. This is new to me, this. Got a few family members who have attended here before, and they said it's a good day out. So yeah, if you've got kids, bring them here. Bring them to Rand Farm Park. I'm sure they will totally enjoy it. They'll probably enjoy it a bit more than I've enjoyed filming this video. I've got to be honest with you. That guy has proper upset me, I'll be honest, but I'm afraid that's the best I can do with this episode. I think I've covered the main bits anyway, so hopefully, fingers crossed, you won't all hate me for it, and I'll have got away with it, thankfully. So time to move on to the next one. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot. This has been the parish of Rand, and I'm out.